Hello, Gary Crowley here with DoItYourselfJointPainRelief.com, and in this video I want to show you how to release your mid-back using a massage tool. On the main mid-back pain relief page I use a lot of tennis balls and manipulation with your hands to get at the tissue that we want to release to basically set your back free so it doesn't hurt anymore. But if you happen to have a massage tool like a back knob or two, or a Theracane. Theracane was my favorite for many years. Lately, the back knob or two has become my favorite. I kind of like the angles a little bit more than the Theracane, just for getting it at things in my back. And I'm going to be using this, and quite simply, we're going to be using the press, hold, move technique to release our mid-back. And what I generally do is I take one of these knobs. Depending on your body, you might like this more narrow curve. I like the big wide curve, but I put it in my low back and I find a tender spot right along my spine, and I press and I hold that spot, and then I make that tissue move underneath the pressure of this little knob. So that's it. Find tender tissue. Tender tissue means the tissue is too tight and is probably compromising your structure. Find your tender spot, press, and make that muscle move under your tissue. So you can go all the way down. You can use two hands. And you just make that tissue move. Now, you don't want to press too hard so that you're causing yourself too much pain. Basically, apply enough pressure as you can relax into. Make that tissue move, and your cerebellum will generally respond by resetting the tensional settings for that tissue. So we're going to do that on both sides of your spine, and then if you still have some tender spots, if things are still a little uncomfortable, then we're going to add in a little twist. So you're going to press on the tender spot. You're going to gently go forward, and when you're forward, really make sure you're nice and firm in that tender spot. And then we're going to come back up. We're going to get to neutral, so you're really not flexing that muscle too much. But then we're going to turn into that pressure, or into the side that you're working on. And basically, you do that. You kind of do that. I'm kind of pressing a little bit across my back. Sometimes you might find mid-back's a little tricky for me to, sometimes with my low back I come across from the other side. I find that a little hard to do on my mid-back, so I come from the same side, but you'll have to play around, depends how flexible you are. I'm kind of pressing that way a little bit, but I roll forward, get in there pretty good, come back up to neutral, and as I turn this way I press nice and gently but firmly into that tissue, and it tends to let go. And again, find another spot. And you may go a couple of these, maybe get in there a little better. But once you're in there pretty good, come up to neutral and twist, and you'll feel that let go. Like that one just shifted for me. Even though I'm not too tight in my low back, I can feel it. Then you just do the other side. Find a tender spot. And again, you can play with however you want to hold this, depending on what you're doing. And after you do all those, if you want to come out here, if you want to play on your rhomboids and find any tender spots and make that move like we do on the main page with the tennis ball, or come out here, you find some tender spots in your lats or your traps, you can make them move as well. But probably the most important thing I can say is you're not massaging this tissue with this thing. People get these and they do this with it, and it basically does nothing. You want to press on the tender spot, you want to make it move. Find another tender spot, press on it, make that tissue move under there. Now with your back, basically bending forward and back and twisting tend to make those muscles move. But if you do that for this whole basically mid-back area, you'll find you have more space and freedom as that tissue lets go, and as you have more space and freedom, the bones can go where they want to go, the nerves aren't being yanked on, and generally you have better function and less or hopefully no pain in that area anymore. And again, driving too much, sitting in front of a computer too much, just modern living makes our backs tight, and this is a fantastic way to release it all by yourself. So thanks for your time, and I look forward to hearing how it goes. Thanks.